Alright guys, so what we want to do now is we want to have a little icon here to click, and then a little input will show underneath where we can change the balance. So in order to do this, we're going to have a little bit of state to control whether the form is shown or not. So in our client details, we're going to add right here state, and we're going to set show balance update. Okay, so this is going to be a Boolean. It's going to be false by default. And what this show balance update is if the balance update form is to be shown or not, and we don't want it shown by default, so we're going to set it to false. So we also want a piece of state that has the amount that's put inside. Okay, so all form inputs should have state attached to it. So we're going to call this balance update amount, and we're just going to set it to nothing. Okay, so those are our two pieces of state. And then what we'll do is we'll go down to where I put the to do. That's where the actual form is going to go, but we do also want an icon to click to show the form. So that's going to go right in the H3, right below the span, and I'm going to put that inside of some small tags, and then I'm going to put an A tag and send this to $! And then exclamation. So it's not going to actually go anywhere, but it's going to have a click handler. So we'll say on click equals, and what we want to do here is basically just toggle whatever that balance is, whatever that value is, the show balance update value. So what we can do is we could create a whole function, you know, called this dot toggle balance or something like that, but it's such a small piece of functionality that I'm just going to put it right in here. So we're just going to put a function like this and then say this dot set state, and let's just set show balance update and we're going to set it to not this dot state dot show balance update. So what it's going to do is it's just going to toggle it. If it's true, it'll set it to false. If it's false, it'll set it to true. Okay, so I think that this is an easier solution than creating a whole separate function just to do that. All right, now inside the A tag is going to be the icon that we click. So let's put an I tag with the class of FAS, and let's do FA-pencil-alt, like that. All right, so we're going to save that, and then we can actually test this out, even though we didn't put the form in yet, by using the React Dev Tools. Okay, so if I were to, let's see, we want the client details component, which is right here, so I'm going to click that, and you can see the state show balance update. Now if I click on this pencil, it changes to true. If I click it again, it changes to false. So it's changing that value in the state, which is exactly what we want to happen. I want a space here after the dollar amount as well. So what I'm going to do is just, let's see, we'll go right here and just add in that, just to push that over a little bit. Okay, so we know we're switching the state. Now we want to have a form underneath if that state is true. So the way that we're going to do it is we'll go back to the render, and let's go right here, and let's pull out of the state. So we're going to pull out show balance update. Let's also pull out balance update amount, and we're going to say equals this dot state. So we're essentially pulling that out using destructuring. And then we're going to initialize a variable called show balance balance form. Okay, we're going to set it to nothing. And then we want to check to see, we'll say if form, or if balance form should display. So we'll say if, and let's say if show balance update. So if that's true, we'll also have an else. Okay, now the else, all we're going to do is set the balance form variable to null. Okay, but if it is to be shown, then this is where we want to construct it. So we'll say balance form equals, and let's put in some parentheses, and then we'll construct the form. We don't need an action. Okay, so balance form, and then inside here we're going to use an input group from Bootstrap. So let's say class. It'll be a div with the class of input dash group, because we want it inline. We want the input and then a button kind of attached to it. So input group, and then we want to put the input, and let's give this a class of form control, and it's going to have a bunch of properties. So we'll go ahead and put these on separate lines. So class name, let's do name equals balance update amount, and let's put a placeholder, and we'll just say add new balance, and the value is going to equal balance update amount, which is this right here. It's coming from the state, so it's the same as saying this dot state dot balance update amount. We just destructured it up here, so that's why I'm not saying this dot state. And then on change, we want to call this dot on change, which do we already have? No, we don't have here, but it's going to be the same on change that that we've always used. So let's see what else we want here. We want the button, but we want it attached in the input group. So we're going to go right under the input and put a div with the class of input group append, like that. And inside here, we want to put our submit button. So it's going to be input with the type of submit. Value will say update, and class name will be btn dash or btn and then btn dash outline dash dark, not sarc, dark. Okay, so yeah, and then the form itself, the form tag needs an on submit, and that's going to call a function called this dot balance submit. Okay, so now we need to create on change and balance submit. So let's go above the render. Let's put our on change, which is going to be very simple. It's just going to do a set state, and it's going to take whatever the name of the form, so e.target.name, and set it to whatever the value, e.target.value. Okay, so whatever we type in, the name is this balance update amount, so it's going to change that state. Whatever we type in, that's what will be set for that state. And then the submit, let's see, what is it? Balance submit, we'll got to add that. So balance submit, and then we'll do an e.prevent default to prevent the form from actually submitting. And then let's just do a console log for now of this dot state dot balance update amount. I just want to make sure we can actually show the form and stuff like that. So let's go back and let's click this. Okay, so it's not working. Balance, oh, we didn't insert the form. We constructed this balance form right here. We set it to this, the whole form, all the markup, but we never put it inside of the actual UI here. So let's put this where I put the to-do. So right here will be balance form. Okay, and it's going to be null if that state is false. So let's click this, and there we go. So now we get a little input that says add new balance. And if I put something in here, we don't want to do that. We want to put some kind of number and submit, and that's going to console log because that's what we're doing in the on submit. So right here, balance submit, we're just console logging. What we want to do though is add it to Firebase, or Firestore I should say. So the way that we can do this is pretty easy. We already have Firestore in our state, right? Because we use whenever you use Firestore Connect, you have access to this.props.firestore. And as you saw in the add client, it had an add method that we could use. Well, it also has an update method. So what we're going to do is inside of the submit, we'll get rid of this console log, and let's actually get, we'll pull out, let's see, we'll pull out from the props, let's get the client and also Firestore. Okay, these are both in this.props. And then from the state, we're going to get the balance update amount. Okay, so now that we have those, what I'm going to do is create a variable called client update. This represents what we want to update for this particular client that's in this client details, and all we want to update is the balance, right? This isn't an edit form. We're going to do that later. So we just want to set the balance to balance update amount, okay? But I want to wrap this in a parse float. Okay, we'll wrap that in parse float. And then once we have that client update object, we want to update in Firestore. So to do that, we can simply say Firestore. And the reason we can access this is because we pulled it out of the props. And it's in the props because we used Firestore Connect. So firestore.update. And then this update will take in the collection that we want to work with, which is clients, and it's also going to take in the doc, so the specific item or specific client that we want to update, which we can just get with client.id. Okay, and then the second parameter is going to be the updated, what we want to update, which is in client update, okay, which is in this right here, the balance. And that's it. I don't want to do a promise and redirect or anything. I want to stay on the same page. So let's save this and let's try it out. So we're going to go here, let's reload, and let's say new balance is 120 and update. There we go. And if I reload, it should stay at 120. Cool. Now if I go 0 and update, awesome, it turns green, which is exactly what should happen. Okay, because remember, if it's 0, it should be green if they don't have a balance. If we add, let's say 126.99, which is a weird number, but there we go. If we go back to our dashboard, you can see that everything is getting added, even the decimal points. So this is working really well. It's exactly what should be happening. Good. So the last thing I want to do here is handle the delete, because that's going to be pretty easy. It's just going to be a function inside of client details. So let's go back and go down to where the delete button is, which is right here. It's just a button. We didn't attach an event to it yet or anything. So let's do that. Let's say on click equals this dot on delete click. Okay, and then we'll go up here. And let's go under the balance submit. I'm actually going to put a comment here. We'll just say update balance. Let's go down here. We'll say delete delete client. So on delete click. So what do we want to do here? We want to get the client first of all from the props. We also want Firestore from the props because there's a method called delete that we can use. So let's say const, and let's say client and Firestore. We're going to pull those from this dot props, and then we're going to call Firestore dot delete. We're going to pass in the collection that we want, which is clients, and then the doc, just like we did with the update, which is client.id. Okay, so it's going to delete that, and then I'm going to do a .then because it'll return a promise, and then we want to redirect to the home page or the dashboard. So we'll say this dot props dot history dot push, and we want to redirect to this to slash. Now since history is in the props, we can just pull it out here if we want, just to shorten this up a little bit, clean it up a little bit, and we can just say history props, or I'm sorry, history push. And then since there's nothing in here in the arrow function, we can actually just do this, clean it up even more. So let's save and let's see if that works. So we'll go back and let's click on, let's say Tom Williams, and delete, and there we go, he gets deleted and the balance also updates. Cool. So we can now read clients, we can add clients, we can update the balance, and we can delete them. So in the next video, what we're going to work on is editing them all together. So if we want to change like the name or email, stuff like that, we're going to have a form that looks like the add form, except it'll be pre-filled with the client and it will update them. All right, and then after that, we can start to think about authentication and logging in and stuff like that. All right, so I will see you in the next video.